David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Hamilton, and I'm standing with Dan Miles. He lives in this house, and this has become somewhat story-worthy. You see, the noticeable thing about Dan's place is there are 10, count them, 10 surveillance cameras, and that's probably a good idea because things are a little dicey in Hamilton these days. There is a record crime wave going on, and as a matter of fact, do you remember when Lincoln J and I paid a visit 2 months ago and took some shots of downtown Hamilton? It wasn't pretty. So there you have it, people down on their luck, some nefarious characters, but crime is a thing. There's been numerous break-ins on this street alone. And so what's the problem with the surveillance cameras? Well, I can tell you the Hamilton Police Service has absolutely no problem. They've come to Dan some 40 times for footage to help them investigate cases. But Hamilton Bylaw has an issue. They want these cameras down. Dan, why?
I believe it's from a complaint from a resident.
But, you know, why would a resident complain? Because this, I think, is creating security for the entire neighborhood, isn't it?
It is, and I have contact with 95% of the people around me, and every time they come and they ask for video of things that have happened, which happens a lot here,
yes,
they come to my door and I give it to them.
And I mentioned the police, it was some 40 cases they've come to you for footage that you've recorded?
Yes, including home invasions and 3 homicides.
That is staggering. And, you know, I mean, how often, folks, have we heard when there's a crime ongoing, you hear law enforcement say, if you have dash cam footage, doorbell footage, please reach out to your police service and provide them with that information. So Hamilton Bylaw saying their bylaw trumps the law?
Yes, that's what they're saying by using an old law called fortification, which was initially created for Hells Angels clubhouses and for gang clubhouses.
Yeah, and I would argue the bylaw wouldn't even be legal in that situation, but that's a moot point because this is not a motorcycle gang clubhouse to the best of my knowledge.
No, not that I can possibly remember, no.
Okay. Why do you think Hamilton Bylaw is still pursuing this? Is it a personal vendetta?
It could possibly be a personal vendetta, but I believe they're being pushed by someone who has sent a statement on it.
And I say that, folks, not as a matter of conjecture, because, Dan, you told me off camera, you once fed a squirrel a peanut, and what happened?
Bylaw gave me a $189 ticket for feeding the squirrel a peanut.
I didn't even know that was a bylaw.
Feeding the wildlife, they called it, and they gave me a ticket for $189 because I gave the squirrel a peanut in front of them.
Unbelievable. By the way, how did that play out?
It's still sitting in the cupboard somewhere, and nothing ever came of it, and I never paid it.
Okay, then. And, you know, and that is germane to this point, to this case. I don't know where this is going to go. Evidently, the city's not talking. It's all under investigation, whatever that means. But I believe they offered a compromise. If you did some conditions, you're allowed to keep the cameras up. What were those conditions, Dan?
They went from you have to take them down immediately to now you have to provide written consent from the owner of the property stating that he's okay with you having the cameras, and he has to give reasons why the cameras are here. I also have to provide statements from nearby residents that are in camera shots saying they're okay with the camera pointing at their house. And the third condition is I have to collect all crime statistics for my neighborhood stating that there is criminal activity around and therefore justifying the cameras, even though there's 3 homicides on my cameras.
Unbelievable. I mean, as far as crime statistics are concerned, I would suggest that the Hamilton Bylaw just pick up the daily edition of the Hamilton Spectator, and you'll get the proof in the pudding there. Yeah. But Dan, this is all nonsense. Under the law, you do not need permission nor consent to record in a public place, which is where we are. So why are they so hell-bent on this agenda?
It could be because I'm also running for Ward 2 councillor.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, and that might have something to do with it too. But okay. I don't, the guy who's running Ward 2 right now has no involvement in this whatsoever. I do know that.
Okay.
So, you know, but other people might not think the same way.
Let me guess, if you're successful, you will table a motion getting rid of this bylaw.
I'm relatively sure that bylaw will go, and I'll initiate a whole bunch of my own.
And you know, Dan, I got to bring up this point. Years ago, I was down in Hamilton at City Hall covering a COVID protest. And lo and behold, days later, via email, I received a ticket for $560. It was from a Hamilton bylaw officer called Ranjani R.J. Reddy, she, her. And she was using a zoom lens camera to capture my image, and I think the ticket was for lack of social distancing or something like that. We were just practicing journalism. It was all a crock. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm getting at, Dan, is that they're saying these cameras, they're offside, but they'll use telephoto lens cameras to send out tickets for other bylaw infractions.
It's okay for them to spy on you, but not for you to spy on them.
Yeah, I guess Big Brother is watching. Big Brother doesn't like it when you watch back.
Absolutely not. And they have cameras everywhere. So and it's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for homeowners to defend their own property. We have lost all of our rights to defend our property. We've lost our rights to do anything to help ourselves against criminals breaking into our houses or anything, and we're just supposed to sit back and make them tea and toast, I guess, and give them the keys to the car. I don't know what to say.
Unbelievable. So if push comes to shove, Dan, I guess the question is, if you do not comply with their conditions, and it looks like there's no way you're going to do that, and if you keep these 10 cameras going, what is Hamilton bylaw going to do? Do you think, are they going to, I mean, if it's $189 to a ticket to feed a squirrel, how big is the ticket for 10 surveillance cameras?
Judging by the way things are going in the public, if I was them, I would retreat from this before they get trampled.
You know, folks, is it just me, or is it beginning to seem that it's against the law to be a law-abiding citizen when you stand up for your rights, when you fight for your property and the lives of your family members, when you have, in the case of this house, some surveillance cameras keeping an eye on the bad guys? All of a sudden, law enforcement has a problem with that, or in this case, Hamilton bylaw. No. Enough is enough. Please go to our new petition, castlelawnow.com. That's castlelawnow.com. Sign the petition so that we can get these crazy self-defense laws changed, and we can call off bylaw on people that are using cameras to protect their property. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.